time, so I was making a lot of meals. Like, it was nice, but it'd get really tiring. And like, everyone is addicted to sugar, right? Like, they can't just be me. So like, I was going through like withdrawal from sugar, from dairy, and like for the first week, like I had like a lingering headache. What is up, guys? It is Oakley, also known as Wolad, and I'm making another video today, and I'm gonna be talking about like veganism and stuff. So if that doesn't interest you, I would just click off, because this is something I'm very passionate about, and like, I'm not really gonna hold myself back from what I'm saying. But like, yeah, so like, if you're gonna get insulted or anything, I wouldn't watch this video, but if you think you can handle it, then watch it. I think everybody should learn about veganism, because I literally didn't know a single thing about veganism until I think I was 18. I was a vegetarian since I was 13, 12-ish. I don't know what the fuck that sound was. I'm watching a lot of scary videos lately, so that sound kind of scared the shit out of me. I'll be real with you. I think something just fell over in the garage though. Stuff happens, stuff falls, so a string of videos right now. I've been a vegetarian since I was 13, kind of pescatarian. It was like, I was vegetarian for a bit, and then I was a pescatarian. I guess you could say like I had experience, like not eating animal products before I like went vegan. Like, actually, I don't know if any of you guys have been to Warped Tour, but like, as soon as I became like a vegetarian, it was just a coincidence, because PETA, I think that's them, PETA likes to like do this stuff. So I was at Warped Tour and they had this stand. They're like, we'll give you $1 if you watch this video. Yeah, I watched the video. It was like the same stuff I had already seen online, just slaughterhouses, a lot of intense stuff. But I think everybody, when you're older, should watch things like that, because it is the truth. Sadly, it is the truth of the world, and it is the truth of where food comes from. And if you can't handle the truth of where your food comes from, then you need to change the things that you're eating. For sure. I am 1000% in belief of that. You know, like, you can watch people picking berries and people pulling lettuce out of the ground or whatever. Like, then why can't you watch animals being milked and whatever? That's gross. It grosses me out. I've watched too much stuff about it. Anyways, so that's not really what I'm here to talk about. I'm not here to gross you out. I'm not here to gross myself out. I don't need that shit. I watched What the Health, and I watched that with my mom and my sister. And I will tell you the fucking truth. For my whole life, I was like, yes, I'm going to go vegan when I can afford it, when I can do it, when I can handle it. So it was like this thing in the back of my mind, like, yes, I'm gonna do it. I feel a little guilty that I can't do it yet. But so it was just random. I was home for winter break, and I was fat at the time. I'll be real with you. I was a vegetarian, pescatarian, whatever. I was a pescatarian, period. And I was very fat because I was only eating pizza and pasta, like freshman 15, but 30. Freshman 30, like, it was freshman 40, let's be real. It was real bad, like, not a good time in my life, but when is it a good time in your life, right? But so yeah, so like, my sister was like, oh yeah, we gotta watch this video. Like, I watched it, you'd really like it. And usually, like, I'm kind of like, sometimes I'm a little off to like watching new things, because it changed my mind. It changes my mind, like, watching new things. Like, I'm a very open person when it comes to watching things, so I know that when I watch something new, like, my life is gonna change forever, because I'm very like that. But yeah, so she made me watch it with her. I watched it with my mom. It was very interesting. It was just about research into like all that stuff, whatever. If you want to watch it, highly recommend it. This is not sponsored. Look at my channel. This is obviously not fucking sponsored. Yeah, so I went vegan for 2 weeks. I think at the end of the movie, the documentary, they were kind of like, you should try to go vegan for 2 weeks and see how you feel. So basically they were like, you're going to physically feel a lot better. And so that was, like my sister, my mom, and me, like we all kind of like our health, we're into that. Everyone kind of should be, but so we did try for 2 weeks, and first week, like it was cold turkey. No, for me, I only couldn't eat fish anymore, and I couldn't eat dairy products. The meat I have not really eaten meat in like an extremely long time. I'm so over it. I so literally do not care about meat at all anymore. I at first had like a headache, like a really bad headache, because we were only making our food, and like at the time when you first become a vegan, you think that your food palette is limited a lot. It's not. It's really not. Like you could get almond milk to replace milk, and if you want to cook at home, there's a lot of easy substitutes. But like you can still go to the store and eat food. Like you don't have to starve, and you don't have to make your own meals. And we didn't really know that at the time, so I was making a lot of meals. Like it was nice, but it'd get really tiring. And like everyone is addicted to sugar, right? They can't just be me. So like I was going through like withdrawal from sugar, from dairy, and like for the first week, like I had like a lingering headache. During those 2 weeks, my mom and my sister stopped, and I didn't. I just kept going with it because I learned more. I went online, and I figured out it's not as difficult as it seems. And now I'm like 2 years or something being a vegan, and that's crazy. It's so weird. I honestly think it's the best thing to do. Like, I don't know what else to say. I'll tell you everything that I've learned right now, I guess. Going vegan, it wasn't just about changing what I ate. It was about being more aware of the world. It was about, like, learning more about the truths of the world. And I know that might sound a little weird, but it really opened my eyes to, like, so many other things that, like, I never would really think of. And, you go online and, like, it's just, like, it's taught me a lot about the hypocrisy that people have, and the hypocrisy that they let themselves have, because it's really made me more of a compassionate guy. And I know, like, I'm not gonna, fuck it. Like, I don't give a fuck what anyone thinks. I don't know why. Like, I'm trying to, like, watch my words and stuff, but it's made me a lot more compassionate. I will always still low-key be a hothead. I will always, like, be blunt and be honest when people fucking hate that sometimes. I hate it, how it hurts other people sometimes, but, like, I can't help myself. It is one of the most life-changing experiences I've ever done in my life. Just the fact that I was able to do it at 18, even though I literally thought for the longest time that I could only do it if I was 30 and I lived in my own house. Like, literally, just doing that has changed so much for me. And it's made me a lot more compassionate and in touch with animals and nature. Like, I'm not joking at all. Like, it's showing yourself that you don't need to kill, you don't need to eat something that's been slaughtered or something that's been abused, is such a beautiful thing to have in your life. Like, I don't know how else to put it, but when you let go of the negativity that is in your food and you eat things that actually have, like, higher vibrations, things that don't come from death, like, that's it. Like, when you eat something that doesn't come from death itself, it's just lighter. Like, it's just such a fucking lighter feeling, bro. Like, it lifts your vibration so much because you know that what you're eating never suffered. And I know, like, people love to make jokes about plants and plants have feelings and shit. It's not the same thing. It's literally not the same thing at all. Because what people don't understand is, like, would you eat your dog? Would you eat your pet? Would you eat an animal that you have a really close connection with? Because the answer is no. The answer is always going to be no unless you're fucking sick. The fact is, all animals have awareness. They all have awareness. They all have souls. They all have feelings. They all have emotions. And when you take a long, hard look at the world and you see that people are eating conscious living things, you get sick to your fucking stomach. And when you learn how to stop doing that and when you take a step back and you really look and you are able to acknowledge that that is completely unnecessary to be healthy, and just completely unnecessary, like, period. Unless, like, you're living in a different culture and that's, you know, a main way to eat food. Obviously, I don't think that veganism is for every single culture, for sure. But on a mass scale, like industrial slaughterhouses, absolutely unnecessary. 1,000% unnecessary. It's hell. It's actually hell on earth. And, you know, there's people who go into abandoned ones and, like, it's just, like, you know, there are protesters for them for a reason. And what is sick about this world is that people look at these protesters and make fun of them for thinking that animals have rights. And animals do have rights. Just because we're not the same species doesn't mean that we have to eat them and we have to abuse them. Because when you look at slaughterhouses, there is so much abuse, and there are sick people who work there. There are probably people who rape the animals. I'm not lying. I wish I was. I wish all of this didn't exist so badly. There are people who abuse the animals. There are people who beat the animals. There are people who take out their anger on the animals, and obviously people who kill them. And killing them is honestly the nicest thing you could do to those animals living in those environments, grown in these small holding cells, literally to die. And I'm just getting really into this because, like I said, I'm very passionate about this. It's just like, you just can't. When you learn all of these things, you can never unlearn them. There are people who go vegan, are very strong, very adamant about it. They mess up one time and they just let it all fall apart. And that is absolutely not acceptable, because you're glancing over your own moral code by letting it all go because you messed up. And I will be completely honest, I'm not a perfect vegan. I'm not. I don't care what other vegans think. I don't care what anyone else thinks, because maybe 5% of the time out of my whole life, out of these 2 years, have I indulged in things that are not vegan. At most, like 8% of the time. And sometimes I'll get something from a store and it will have traces of dairy in it. Or, you know, something like, I don't really do that. Or, like, I'll eat a candy and it'll have traces of milk or something. But, like, the point is that, you know, like, I have only been vegan for 2 years and I am still learning. It is a process of trial and error. It's learning from the people around you. It's making friends with other vegans and talking to them about it, and, you know, forming relationships over the passion that you have for animals and to end cruelty. Just for the reference, I'm the type of guy who will eat what is available to me. In my household, I rarely have food to eat. That, like, I don't have to prepare. I have to prepare every single meal at the moment. For a very long time, I was the type of guy, like, I'd call myself a raccoon. Like, I'll eat anything that's available to me. Because I'm also the type of guy that I do not like anything going to waste. And I feel like that kind of ties into my veganism, because to me, it doesn't make sense if I am going to, you know, sit here at home and one of my family members, like, let's say they make rice pudding. Let's just say that. They make rice pudding, and I see every single day that no one is eating it, and that it's getting to the point that no one is going to eat it and it's going to get thrown out. I will eat the rice pudding. And it doesn't, like, I don't care that I consider myself a vegan and that I'm eating something that's from an animal. I will eat it only because no one else is going to eat it, and I'm not a shit person. I'm not going to let the food go to waste. You know? Like, that's what people don't understand about being a vegan, is you don't have to be a god. You don't have to be an angel. You don't have to never make mistakes. You just have to follow your own moral code and your own moral direction. And the difference between me eating something that's going to get thrown out and me sitting down and making a steak are two completely different things. If you buy the steak, if you let your mom buy the steak for you, if you allow that sort of thing and you don't tell them that you're stopping eating these things, it will continue, and that itself is a waste. So if you do go vegan, it's a trial and error, you know, like, you don't have to feel bad about, like, everything that's going on. for I'd say at least 6 months. That's how long it takes for other people around you to really get used to it and to really accept that you are changing your diet. And that is another thing, actually. After going vegan, I've learned a lot more about like how much I eat and what I eat. I'm a lot more aware of the things that I put into my body. Now, that doesn't mean that I will eat everything that is healthy. Absolutely not. Like, I don't really care so much about my own health as I do about like animals and stuff. But also, it is really good for your health if you want to look into it. Like I said, watch What the Health. If you've already seen it, watch Game Changers. There are so many amazing documentaries out there. I don't recommend watching Dominion unless you want to ruin your week. But if you want to see the truths behind animal agriculture, I would watch it. So I could really go on all day about all these things, but basically, to sum it up, I have learned so much about myself and about nature and about animals and about what is right and what is wrong by going vegan. And I really truly think in my heart that even going vegetarian, even going pescatarian is much better. If you stop these things from soiling your life and soiling the planet and soiling pure innocent souls, you will feel so much better. Like, I'm not trying to guilt trip anybody, I'm just saying like it is the facts. And when you allow evil onto your plate, there's a part of yourself that becomes evil as well.